Hi, I'm Casey Okupi, and I'm going to talk to you about sponsorship, how to get sponsors, and that whole process, basically. So the first thing I wanted to do, we have a form here. It's the non-commercial television means document that I think everybody should review. I'm going to read it, basically. It says, products or services cannot be promoted. So what that means is not showing a product in a store in its commercial packaging, or using posters that promote the sale of products or services, including CDs, tapes, and books. So that means, you know, this show can't be brought to you by Snickers, it's the best, or whatever, something like that. Like specific product items, those aren't to be promoted. And where you can find those items in a store, that's another thing that we aren't going to be doing. It's not part of what we can do with the public access. And then it says, instead of asking an artist where commercial, which commercial venue they'll be performing at next, what you would do is you'd say, for more information, go to, and then you'd list a website or a phone number or email address. That's how we would do that. And then it also says, not prominently displaying business names on the TV screen or to identify program location, including storefronts, things along those lines. What we are able to do, we can't ask for funds or anything like that on the screen unless it's like for political candidates, and they can basically solicit funds and things. But it says for every 30 minutes of program time, so for every 30 minutes, you get up to 90 seconds of sponsorship credits permitted. So, and it says with no more than 15 seconds per sponsor. So basically, let me see, 90 seconds, that's 15, 6 sponsors, basically. So sponsorship logo may be used, and the location and phone number of where to find the sponsor. So basically, we'll see later, I have some sponsors like Tick Licker Firearms, for example, and I would say this show is brought to you by Tick Licker Firearms, located at yada, yada, yada. I don't say they have the best stuff, their stuff costs this much. Exactly, yeah. You don't want to do that, but you can say it's brought to you by this business at this location. For more information, here's the telephone number. Things like that. So, and it also says slogans can be used, but not with words like best or better. Like for the best, I don't know, for the best burgers in town, go to this store. We can't do the comparative words like that. But you can use slogans like, you know, for instance, with Tick Licker Firearms, they say, making Oregonians safe, one firearm sale at a time, you know. So that wouldn't be like the best store. So, all right. Again, like I said, for more information, and then you put the website, the email address, phone number, things along those lines. So that's basically what this says. So this you can pick up on your way out. It's where all the documents are. Now, let me see. Basically, when it comes to your show, that's what we're going to talk about. Demographics, things along those lines. Who has a show in mind or a show that they do? Do any of you? What show do you do?
Well, we do one called Wait No More right here. It's just kind of a workout weight.
Oh, it's a weight thing. Okay. And are there any, you know, what you could do is with Wait No More, for example, you know, we're talking about weights, working out, right?
Yep.
So possibly finding people who want to get clients and then seeing if they could be a sponsor when it comes to, for example, well, you know, like some gyms offer a week or a month membership for free or something like that. You know, you could ask for free memberships from the gyms, different gyms, hypothetically. You could say, you know, we'll go into the spiel about what they get out of it, but that's who's probably watching your show. People want to get in shape, you know. maybe places that sell fitness equipment, maybe they could offer you coupons and things like that. So that would be another way to go with sponsors in that sort of situation. Does anybody else have a show idea, for example?
Well, I do every 2 weeks. I do a short video of the adoptable cats at Friends of Felines.
Okay.
It's usually 7 to 9 minutes, depending on how talkative the people are.
Okay, Friends of
And
Felines, that's a non-profit, right?
In one of the, yeah, and in one of the rooms where we film the cats, there's a big sign. This room sponsored by Evergreen Vet Services. And I can't get the cats without having that sign
I see.
on the screen. And that's one of my dilemmas as to how much I can show that sign.
Okay. Well, you know, have you thought about actually talking with Evergreen Vet themselves?
Talking about,
Talking to that sponsor of that room, and like maybe speaking to them and saying, we do a show about felines and things. You're a veterinarian clinic. We were wondering if you'd be interested in sponsoring our show, and then maybe they'd have some sort of
oh, I see.
yeah, and then maybe they'd have some sort of coupons or something that you could give to the people sitting down in
Use that as the lead-in to.
yeah, like in the audience. Like I don't know if your show has an audience, or you know, if your show goes on social media, you can use these little gifts to help promote your show and things like. If you see the show, you know, tweet about it, or Facebook share the show or something like that. Tell your friends about it, you know, hashtag whatever. Then you can give them coupons. You know, if the vet place wanted to give you coupons for like 10% off or something along those lines.
Because they give Friends of Felines a really good break on cost of vet services.
That's awesome.
And that's why I want to credit them if I possibly can.
Yeah, I mean, you'd want to talk to them, definitely. Yeah, you got to go to them directly. You got to call them and say, you know, would you be interested in sponsoring our show? We go to Friends of Felines. We show people with the cats. We put it on public access. It goes to 55,000 Comcast subscribers. That's where I want to talk about next, basically. What does a sponsor get? What does a sponsor get for sponsoring your show? Basically, CCTV, there's approximately 55,000 Comcast subscribers in like the Salem-Keizer area, roughly. And if we play a show, you know, Kiermy will play it up to 10 times. So if we take 55,000, multiply that by 10 times, and that's 550,000 potential views. Potential. It's not guaranteed. They have to have their TV on every single time on the right station and everything. But that's a lot. That's a lot to be able to market someone and, you know, I don't know, them not having to pay cash out. You know, it'd be whatever costs they correlate with sponsoring you. Like, for example, if it was a restaurant or something, then it would be, you know, for them the cost of the pizzas or something along those lines. But that's not much to ask for when you have 550,000 potential views. So that's important to write down. The 55,000 Comcast subscribers in the Salem-Keizer area, or Xfinity, and then times 10, 550,000. So it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you explain these numbers, these are high numbers, and you talk to people, and you say, you know, look, we have the opportunity to put your show out there. Other places do it, you know, if you have a network TV station do that, that's going to cost them maybe a couple grand. and then they have to pay for it to be done, like a commercial or something. You can do a slideshow of what they have, or you can make a little mini commercial. And I'll be showing you some of those because I brought a video that has some. And you'll be able to make a little commercial for them, and that saves them hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and then thousands of dollars for the playtime. So it's not a little deal helping them, you know? That's what we have to get across, basically. That's what, yeah.
I have a question.
Sure.
I live out of town, and none of what goes on here at CTV makes it to Silverton, unfortunately. But could I still get sponsors from there?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you know, they're getting the views, right?
Yeah, people still go to Silverton.
Right.
I go to Silverton all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're just saying this show is brought to you by
Right. Whatever.
this sponsor, and then, you know, just maybe show a picture of the sponsor, and yeah, that's basically it. For more information, they're at this address, this phone number, this website. So,
Thank you.
yeah, no problem. Let me see. What can you get from a sponsor? I'm going to tell you a couple things I've gotten personally. So, things that I get, I try to give to my audience, because I'll have a live studio audience. And I have a couple different shows that I've done here in the studio. One of the shows is Free Speech Northwest. So I think about who cares about free speech, you know, things like that, or who my demographic is. Just kind of brainstorm, try to figure out who it might be. So you'd want to do that for your shows, like think, who's watching this? So, I don't know, when it comes to Free Speech Northwest, when it comes to politics, I thought to myself, barbecue, you know? Yeah, guys who eat smoked meat. You know what I mean? So I contacted,
Cook it, they'll come.
huh?
I said if you cook it, they'll come.
Yeah, yeah. So when I think about politics and things like that, I thought, you know, maybe a barbecue place or something. So I contacted a barbecue place. I said, hey, I do this show. Like I said, it goes to 55,000 Comcast subscribers 10 times. That's over 500,000 potential views. And they're like, yeah, sure. Yeah, no, we'd be interested. That'd be awesome. And then they give probably over $100 worth of food. So, because it's like 6 meals worth, roughly, you know, all depends. But, yeah, they're excited, you know. You just keep going at different people. Don't stop at 1 or 2 or 3, you know. Stop after you get a couple yeses, you know. Don't stop when you get turned down. So you just got to know how to say it. So that's basically those numbers. 55,000 Comcast subscribers times 10, 550,000. 500,000 potential views, not actual views. So you gotta have that word in there too. Potential views. You don't want to give them any wrong information. So. Now, you probably would want to show these people that you're reaching out to evidence of a product. So, you were saying you do that show, that workout show, every couple weeks?
Every week.
Every week?
Well, he's had some family issues going on right now, so it's been canceled until further notice, but
Okay.
we've only missed 1 week so far.
Well, if you have some previous tapings or whatever on a hard drive or something,
Yes.
you can bring them in. You can say, look, this is a real thing.
That's
We
what
put
we
this
do.
on TV.
Right.
Yeah, you could show them previous schedules of when it was on channel 22. You're like, look, this was on channel 22, these 10 times, this is a good time slot, and this is a real solid thing, you know? You can show them. So, that's why you'll probably want to have at least a couple episodes in the bag, so you have something tangible.
Right.
Yeah. You can say, look, see, here's an example of what I do. And here are the people who watch that, you know, these type of people. You can explain to them. The type of people that would do business in your business are the type of people that watch this. Like, I do a show called the Northwest Comic Show. So it has to do with pop culture, comic books, things along those lines. So, and I go to comic book conventions, and sometimes I get to interview like celebrities and things like that, or you know, just different things in regards to pop culture. So I'll contact comic book conventions, and I'll say, hey, can I have some tickets to give to my studio audience? That makes a lot of people want to watch, you know? That makes a lot of people want to come into your show and pay attention to your show because they can have tickets. You know, it's those little gifts that the sponsors give you that raises the amount of people and awareness about your show. So,
in other words, you're not after money from the sponsor. You're after whatever they can provide.
yeah, I mean, right now we're talking about building like the show,
Yeah.
you know. You can assess what you need from a sponsor and, you know, what helps benefit your show and everything. When it comes into those areas, it gets a little more detailed. So, but what we're going to talk about right now is what helps you make a better show and, you know, things like that, like getting people to watch your show, and a lot of times that's giving away gifts. Now, do you do a show?
Yes.
What is your show about?
Just interviews. I interview like dancers and musicians and community people.
Oh, okay. Dancers and musicians and things. So, yeah, so like maybe tickets to a concert would be a way to go, you know? Something along those lines. And then you can give those to your studio audience or people who share your show or talk about your show on the internet. So you'd be able to give them tickets to an upcoming event. So you just reach out to the event. And then you advertise for the event, you know, if there's a big concert coming up. So that would be a really good example of something I would think that I would potentially try if it was my show. So, let me see. One thing that I like to do too is you can download templates for like a contract, hypothetically, so that it's kind of a thing that just tells them that you're not gonna let them down if they give you something, and so it's just like a template for like an exchange. That's just a personal thing that I do. I don't think that's a requirement here, but that's what I do. I've downloaded contracts and then said, you know, in exchange for this, I'm promising that I'm going to do this for you. Yeah, so they appreciate that. Let's see. You know what I want to do, actually, is show you some examples of some commercials that I've done or some sponsorship ads on my show so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to turn this on and we'll take a look and then we can talk about it. Free Speech Northwest is brought to you by Ticklicker Firearms at 4570 Commercial Street Southeast, Salem, Oregon 97302. Keeping Salem, Oregon safe, one firearm sale at a time. Free Speech Northwest is brought to you by Adams Ribs Smokehouse, located at 1210 State Street, Salem, Oregon 97301.
The Northwest Comic Show. What? The Northwest Comic Show. The greatest thing ever.
The Northwest Comic Show is brought to you by Shotskis, where there's always something fun to do and something good to eat in downtown Salem at Shotskis.
The Northwest Comic Show is also brought to you by Marvel Universe Live.
Hey, what's up? It's Casey with the Northwest Comic Show. All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sorry, I got ice.
The Northwest Comic Show is brought to you by Shot Skis, where there's always something fun to do and something good to eat in downtown Salem at Shot Skis.
The Northwest Comic Show is also brought to you by Marvel Universe Live.
Shout out to my mom. She don't got cable.
The Northwest Comic Show.
The greatest thing ever.
Today's episode is brought to you by Wizard World Comic Con in Portland, Oregon. Hey, I'm Casey Okupi. This is the Northwest Comic Show. And right now, the show is all about like pop culture stuff, anything pop culture, like comics, music, movies, cosplay. And today, we're going to be giving away some tickets to Wizard World in Portland, which is an awesome Comic-Con. It's where all the celebrities and things are. And we have a special guest today, right now. We have a cosplay professional, Russell Jeske. Yeah, so I actually use my show, and you'd be able to do the same. So would you. And what was your show about again? The cat?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can all use your shows. You can all use your shows to go to events. Like, you could use your show to go to a fitness event as press, just explaining that it goes to 55,000 Comcast subscribers 10 times, 550,000. So you could be press at an amazing event that has, like, you know, fitness athletes. You know, you could be press at an event that's like an animal show, for example, like one of those where they judge the different animals and things. You could be press there, and you could interview people, you know, and then obviously you said you interview singers and things like that. So you could do some kind of, you could be press at all sorts of different concerts and events. So it's really cool. You could reach out to maybe, like I've been thinking of reaching out to the casinos and things around here, and they have like really big celebrities, and you say, you know what, I want to cover it. You know, I'd like to be press, and then see if they have a press application. So you'd fill that out. And then that boosts your show ratings a lot too. So, did you have any questions about the ones we just saw? Like, it showed Marvel Universe Live, and it showed all that action and stuff. I got a bunch of tickets to go to Marvel Universe Live that I gave out to families because the show that I made reached that demographic. So they were excited and happy to do it. You know? Same thing with Wizard World. It's a comic book show. It's a pop culture show. So I got tickets to a comic book convention that I just gave out to people who watched my show, who were in my audience, and things like that. Because it reaches that demographic. You know? The people who watch my show are interested in Comic-Cons. And since they're interested in Comic-Cons, the Comic-Con gave me the tickets. So that's what it's all about. It's about the demographics. It's about stating those numbers and not over-promising, you know, just saying potential views, things like that. Were there any questions, any additional questions about the...
I guess I have a question.
What's that?
When you say you have an audience, are you doing like a live show, or is there actually an audience here in the studio?
Here in the studio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll, when I have different guests and stuff, if the topic is interesting, like today at 3, I'm going to do a show here, and I've invited anyone who wants to come to watch the show. And they can even participate at the end with like a Q&A and stuff. So the people who show up for the audience, if I have a sponsor that's giving me something to give away, I'll give it to them. So, were there any other questions about those sponsors or anything? Like Shotsky's, what they did, I explained that it's a family pop culture show, Northwest Comic Show. And so Shotsky's, I said, can I have 2 large pizzas for the show? For, you know, myself and my crew and guests. That's obviously who you'd want to feed, not necessarily audience members, but, you know, yourself, your crew, your guests. And then Shotsky's was like, yeah, sure. I mean, this is a family show. It's a pop culture show. That's the kind of people we want here at Shotsky's. So yeah, you can have 2 pizzas. Just put our little ad out there. So, and then that's true again for the Adam's ribs. Yeah. All right. Let me check out my outline. I think this actually goes pretty quick. It's pretty structured. I don't think there's too many questions. So, does anyone have any other questions about their potential future shows or who they should reach out to, demographics? We can brainstorm.
The rules about how much time you can allow.
Uh-huh.
The programs I make are max 10 minutes,
Okay.
both for the felines and for Fences for Fido. I keep them short. So I have to prorate the allowable time down.
Well, it says for every 30 minutes of program time, let me see, no more than 15 seconds per sponsor. So, yeah, you know, that, since it's, I'm sure what you could probably do in that instance is if you did 3 shows, if it's 30 minutes, 3 shows is 30 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So for every 3 shows, you get up to 90 seconds of sponsor
okay.
credits. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm sure that that's something that can be worked out.
Yeah.
You know, when you add that all up, because that's several sponsorship opportunities. This says no more than 15 seconds per sponsor. So
Well, you can say a lot in 15 seconds.
yeah, and that'd be about, I'd say, 2 different ones per episode. At like 15 seconds each. So. Was there any other questions or anything? So, I don't know. I guess, let's see. Last thing I would say is make sure that you, obviously, and I'm sure you all already know this, is dates, deadlines, and things. You all know that when you're in production, when you're in like television show production, giving yourself dates and solid dates of when you're taping, a rough, you know, when you're gonna have it done, you know, and then when you get those times, giving them to your sponsor, like of when it's gonna be shown here. So you're gonna say, hey, watch this station at these times, and you'll see, and you'll tell the sponsor, they'll see themselves on that station at that time. Tell your friends to watch, you know, let them know. So, but, yeah, I guess that would be pretty much everything.